Hey, what's happening? My name is Ryan Deiss. I'm the CEO of Digital Marketer. And in this video, I want to talk to you about a totally new way of selling what you already have to sell. We call it the Blitz Launch. Now I'll get to why we call it that in just a minute. But first, this is really for you if you have some campaigns that are running and maybe they're getting a little bit tired, if you're running Facebook ads or Google ads or Instagram ads, and maybe they're working really well at one point, but they're not working so well anymore, and you're trying to figure out, how do we really rejuvenate these things? Well, hopefully what I have to share with you in this video will be a good first step. So first of all, let's talk about the way that people normally sell stuff, marketers in particular, because there's kind of two general, not schools of thought, but two broader strategies in and around selling things. And the first is really just what is known in not just this industry, but really all industries as a launch, right? A product launch, getting out there and launching something brand new to the great big world out there. Now, if you've been around digital marketing and internet marketing for any length of time, you've probably heard about Jeff Walker and the product launch formula. But really, that concept, and Jeff would be the first to admit it, he didn't invent that concept. You have software companies like Oracle and Salesforce. They're out there filling stadiums and whole arenas full of people to tell them about their brand new version of whatever software they're selling. That's been happening for decades. Think about Apple, right? What happens when Apple goes out there and launches, a new iPhone? Think about the way that, blockbuster movies are launched. Usually these launches are going to happen over about a 14 to, 21 day period. The goal is to generate just a ton of attention from the industry. That's really what we're doing. They want to generate a lot of attention. They want to hold it for, a couple of weeks. Generally, you're going to have like 7 days of pre-launch and anticipation building, another 7 days of, okay, it's out there, go and get this thing, go and watch it, go and consume it, go and sign up, and another, 7 days of, a follow-up. So generating a lot of attention, holding a lot of attention. They're very high risk, but it's also high reward, because the reality is, if you're going out there and you are doing a launch, you can probably only do this at most 1 to 2 times per year. That's what you got. If you're doing a launch, you can do it 1 to 2 times per year, because you cannot expect to have an entire industry give you this level of attention for that length of time. And it's getting harder and harder to hold people's attention over this long period of time. So launches can be good, but they can also be risky, because if you don't nail it, if this doesn't work really, really well, then you went all in and you lost. Somebody kind of called your bluff. So what's the other side of the coin? What's the other way that we as marketers like to sell things? Well, that's through something known as a funnel. All right. And if we think about a funnel, generally, the good thing about a funnel is they're evergreen. Right? Funnels are always open, right? And the other thing that you're doing with a funnel is you're going for targeted attention. Right? Now, what that means, because the attention is so targeted, is that you can do a lot of testing. All right. So as a result, they're very low risk. Because if you go out there and you test a funnel and you throw maybe a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 and it doesn't work, it's fine. You test it, you try something new. It's not like a launch, where you absolutely positively have to go, where you have to go all in. And like I said before, it's always on. All right. It's always on. The funnel is always there taking in sales. So what's the downside to a funnel? Well, after a certain amount of time, they just don't work as well as they once did, right? The audience has kind of seen it. They begin to degrade over time. Ad prices go up. The other big downside to purely being a funnel model and never doing a launch is you don't get that industry oomph. You don't get that really massive brand build that comes from just being everywhere all the time that you get with a launch. And this is something that I think people don't quite understand about launches. The big benefit of a launch isn't simply the revenue that gets generated during the launch. It's the brand elevation that happens from all the awareness and the attention that you get from that launch. So the question that we asked here at Digital Marketer is, how do we combine the best of both worlds? How do we have something that we could do, maybe it isn't always on, but we can do way more frequently than a traditional launch, but that doesn't come with all the same risk, but that does get some of the brand benefits. And what we found is that the intersection of a launch and a funnel is what we call a blitz. All right, a blitz or a blitz launch. And a blitz launch works something like this. All right, essentially what you're doing is over the course of 7 days, all right, over a 7-day period, over 1 week, What you want to do is you want to direct all the energy, all the attention from every single channel that you have. So we're talking about email campaigns. We're talking about Instagram stories, Facebook ads. You're going to be running Google retargeting, like everywhere. During this week, 100% of all of your effort, all of your attention needs to be focused in on one piece. And this is my attempt at drawing a light bulb. Don't know if it looks like a light bulb. This is my attempt at drawing a light bulb. But you've got all of this attention over 7 days are all going into one piece of what we call big idea content. So for 7 days, you want to create this marketable moment where for 7 days, you're not trying to hold it for 14, 21, but for 7 days, you are just pushing all of your chips in and pointing it towards this piece of content, not spreading it out over multiple pieces of pre-launch content, one piece of big idea content. Now, here's what happens if you do this right, especially if you get this content right. Number one, you're going to generate a ton of industry awareness. You're going to generate an enormous amount of intensity and enthusiasm around it. Also, if you do this right, you're going to generate a lot of sales. This will generate sales, but the other thing that it's going to do during this process is it's going to generate a lot of brand love and a lot of brand equity. So the folks who, even if they don't buy, if you do this big idea content right, they're going to go, these folks are pretty smart. They're actually giving a lot of value. So this is not a sales pitch. It's so important. When people go to this, they need to look at this and they need to go, wow, this matters. So what are you doing? You might be writing a manifesto, or you might be telling everybody about this brand new massive change that took place, making a mega, a big new announcement. You're talking about a huge shift in the marketplace. You're causing them to believe something they didn't believe before. You're causing them you're introducing them and causing them to buy into a new paradigm, right? If you can accomplish this in a 7-day period, then not only will they buy, but they'll fall in love. And here's the biggie, even those who don't buy, they're still going to begin to fall in love and begin to follow your brand. Now, here's the beautiful thing about a Blitz launch. What we have found is, unlike a traditional launch, which you could do once, maybe twice a year, with a Blitz launch, this is literally every month. You can and should do one of these Blitz launches every single month, and here's why. Today, right now in the world, what consumers, what your audience, what they want more than anything is the new. We crave novelty. All right, from the moment we probably crawled out of the cave, right, we were freaking out about all the things that were new because, the new stuff eats us, right? So if every single month you come up with a reason for your audience to perk up, to pay attention, to notice, and you truly deliver something of value, a true big idea concept, then not only are you going to sell a lot more, but you're going to generate a lot of enthusiasm around your brand. Now, I know that this is maybe a bit cryptic, and I'll tell you the secret to it is pulling off this big idea piece. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be hosting a workshop where we're going to be breaking down all the steps of what does it take to execute a Blitz launch. All right, so hopefully you've seen that there is a gap between, there is an opportunity to kind of bridge the best of the launch and the funnel. And if you're excited about that idea and you want to join us, then make sure that you sign up for the workshop that we're doing on how to architect your own Blitz launch. Thanks for watching.